Hey guys, it's Julie. So, I promised you some gameplay, and today I think we're going to play a little Minecraft. I was trying to decide if we should play like one of my single player worlds or if we should play the World Buscus. And you know what? I think we can play the World Buscus, and I will tell you why. Um, this server, I mean, it's fairly new still. It's not, it's not like an older site or anything like that, but it's kind of going through some growing pains. Um, Basically, it's a server that Toby Turner started with one of his friends, and we've got an admin. And we've also got what we call helpers or mods. And like they go, they're supposed to be on to like help us and stuff. But if you take a look around, I thought I saw somebody else, but I mean, as far as I know, I am totally alone here. And most everybody is probably gonna be in factions. Maybe. Yeah, see, here's everybody. Everybody's over here in factions, and well, it's not a bad thing, but it's like there's hardly anybody playing in there's hardly anybody playing in the mini games anymore. I don't know if anybody's like in creative anymore or not. I haven't checked that yet. But I mean, there's just, you have to come in here in order to find people. And apparently we have a little bit of an issue. Like I said, we have helpers. We have people whose, oops, hang on. We have people whose job it is to basically, like they hang out in chat, they hang out, they chat, and usually they have purple names, which I think is pretty cool because purple's my favorite color. But anyway, we'll go to spawn. And see, there's a couple people here, but not too terribly many. Now, I love the shop. I can't remember if I showed you guys what the new shop looks like. But we'll go down here. Yeah. And so they changed like the carpet so that the carpet's different colors. And then like over here on this side you got your potions, you got your splash potions. You've got your enchanted objects that you can get from the nether. You've got some enchanting stuff. You got your armor. And I mean, people are auctioning, they're raiding, or all that stuff, but it's like, I don't know, you hardly see anybody on the site anymore. I mean, and I don't want to complain because, I don't want to be rated, but it's like there's very few people that are actually on the site. And it's really sad because, in my opinion, it's a really neat site, and I really like the way it's set up and all of that. I mean, I don't know. It's weird because you have people who will come in and they'll be like, oh, Spawn sucks. You know, this is Spawn right here. You spawn in, and basically what you do is you run out any of these 4 ways, and north, south, east, west, you know. And it's like, Spawn sucks, shop sucks, and it's like, I don't know. I think one of the main issues is just that, I mean, there are mods that come on. We have moderators, you know, just like me on the Heroes RPG one. But, I don't know. It's just irritating a little bit. Because it's like, you get. Apparently they had issues with this one mod. Was apparently like really strict with the rules. I don't know. I never had problems with her. I mean, she always seemed to be fair to me, but a lot of people were just like, they just didn't like being, okay, like, here's a good example. Let me bring this up. Like, see how they're including lyrics to a song? Like, Rebecca would come on, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said her name, but she would come on and basically be like, don't flood the chat, you know, blah, 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 don't say the same message over and over again. I mean, I get why, because, you know, there's some people, whether they're new or whether they're just trying to be annoying or whatever, and they just be like, hey, PvP to me. Hey, PvP to me. Hey, who wants me? You know, hey, somebody give me food. Hey, somebody give me food. You know? You know, somebody give me food. Somebody give me, you know, and they just say the same message over and over again. And it would be annoying. And it's like, you know, I mean, I get that we have to have mods. I get that we have to have rules. Because if we didn't have rules, I mean, I've come on here before, and, well, I don't think it helps that a lot of people who come on and play are, like, kids. Nothing against kids, but, you know, they just would be like, blah, 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 you know. I mean, they curse each other out, they would do all this other stuff. And so basically, I think it's a really fun server. Another thing that I've heard is an issue is that the server is still on like 1.7 something, and of course Minecraft is now up to version 1.84 or something like that. And so, you know, and I can understand that too. If you don't, you know, if you don't update your server, then a lot of the stuff can get frustrating. The other thing that I personally find a little frustrating is the fact that, like, there's, like, I mean, they turned off hostile mobs. Presumably to deal with lag, which, you know, whatever. So, you don't have to worry about hostile mobs. But at the same time, that's kind of part of the experience of playing Minecraft, is dealing with the mobs, going out exploring and seeing, and realizing that it's getting nightfall and you haven't built shelter yet, or, anything like that. But, I don't know. The thing that irritates me and can really just irritate me is just the fact that I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy getting to know new people, but it's like you get kids in here and they're just like, and they just think they can act however they want. And I get that's factions. I get that you're supposed to kind of badmouth each other and raid each other and all that. I understand that. But then you've got the mods, and they're trying to keep things neat and respectful. In chat, and I don't know what it was about this gal that people didn't like, but they just didn't like her at all. Or they didn't like how she did her job. Like, apparently she took it, like, way too seriously. So, and I don't know. I mean, I'm a moderator for myself. Now, that's a text-based forum. There's nothing about, playing any game, playing Minecraft or anything like that. But apparently there was a big blow up and she left and she was calling out some people for having treated her bad and all that. And it's just like, it's not necessary. You don't need to be doing that. Especially now when there's like official places on the World Baskets forums. Yeah, there's like an official place on the World Baskets forums where if something, like if you're disagreeing with staff or whatever, you're supposed to go there and post and basically be like, this is happening, here's my evidence, that kind of thing. But apparently, that wasn't happening. And somebody even posted on the forum, that started a thread that said, this particular mod should be demoted. And it's like, really? But in spite of all that, and in spite of the drama, in spite of the drama and the crap and all that, I still really like this forum, and I hate seeing it be so... I mean, it used to be you go to spawn and there'd be like tons of people. There were like drop parties, and even though you knew that quite a few of them were people who had raided other people, it was still fun. You know, and we got the chance to meet people, and even though I was raided and I was tricked, it was still okay. I mean, it's part of the game. But it's like, I haven't seen anybody. Okay, like, here, I'll show you guys something. Okay, so if you guys come over here, so if you guys come over here, to where the okay, we're gonna go over this way. So you see those way up there? Those are scout bases. I have not seen hide nor hair of any of the people who are part of those bases. Oh, I'm sorry, that's mine. Hold on. F map. See, I don't know if these were rated. I honestly don't know for the life of me. Oh, here, somebody's having a drug party. Well, I mean, I'd be on, and there would be like raw party like every few minutes and stuff. That was really fun. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea if people are still up there. If there's still bases up there. Honestly, I have no idea. I've been reading, but I mean, I don't see anybody. I have no idea. I have no idea if they've been raided. I have no idea if anybody is. Hardly anybody comes on the server anymore. And the ones that do, it's like I'm out here totally by myself. So, you know, that's the difficult part. You know, it's also difficult that just part of the whole experience is supposed to be you go out and you read other factions. But it's just kind of difficult when you don't know the people. And I've always tried to be like a friendly faction. I've always tried to be the kind of person who goes around and helps people and kind of go around and do my own thing. But it's just hard. It's just hard sometimes when, hardly anybody is on and, and I mean, I don't admit the one mod seemed to be pretty strict about, she was very on top of things. She was very, don't spam chat, and don't keep repeating the same. And it's like, I kind of get that. I kind of get the reasons why. But at the same time, it's also kind of like, but people, and it's like, apparently players were feeling like they couldn't talk because the minute they started talking, when they first started doing anything that was like considered bad, they would get yelled at or banned or whatever. And you also gotta consider that probably the majority of people who play in factions are kids. Which, I mean, I can understand, I can understand that. That's why I don't tell people how old I am, because I'm just like nobody needs to know. I don't know what it is about, young people, but it's like, I've had issues with people, like, avoiding talking to me or whatever because of the fact that I'm so old or whatever. And it's just like, okay, whatever. I don't even have gray hair yet, so. But anyway, I'm going to do what I can with, like, I'll keep posting gameplay on the channel and all that, and, but I do agree. I mean, this is Toby's channel, and he's done hardly anything with it. I mean, it's like, he used to pop on, like, all the time, and, like, he hasn't been on in, like, several months. And I understand, you get busy. I do understand that. But at the same time, it's like, you can't just start a server and then just be like, I'm gonna go away and leave it alone. I mean, that's not good. And again, I don't know if Toby has any server experience. I don't know if he's ever run a server before or anything like that, but I don't know. It does irritate me sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, okay. Because like I said, the server used to be bustling. We used to have people, the chat would be almost like continuously going. And people would be talking, and people would be doing all this stuff. And now it's just like, people, like, the weirdest thing I found the other day was I had a whole bunch of sugarcane planted along the banks here, and I logged in the other day and it was all gone. So it's like, I don't know if it was a glitch, or I don't know if it was, oh, almost forgot. I wanted to get my hoe so that I could harvest my stuff. And the reason why a lot of my stuff isn't in is because, sorry guys, I kind of lost track of thought there. Reason why, okay, I thought I had, oh, I wonder if, I betcha, because what happened is I went into the nether, or no, I didn't go into the nether, I found another, the mass was out exploring, I found a pool of lava, and I accidentally fell into the lava and died, so, and I lost a lot of my stuff, so I bet you the hoe got lost. But I mean, you know, it's like I said, it's a really fun server, and I really enjoy it, for the most part. It's just, you can't just be, it's just, you know, it's like people have said, you know, we need to advertise it more, you know, Toby needs to advertise it more. I mean, he hardly does. He used to record little snippets and post them on his channel and be like, you know, and he used to come on all the time and play with everybody. But anymore, you know, and it's like, I know he just had a game come out, and I know he's apparently planning a new game, and he's got, you know, he's been doing a lot of gameplay of other games on his channel and stuff, which is great. But at the same time, it's like he's forgotten about this server. And I mean, I hate to say that because truly, you know, from what I've seen of him, he seems to be a really nice, really outgoing person. Which, you know. So I guess what I'm saying, guys, is if you're bored, you've got nothing to do, you just want to do something fun for a while, come on to World Buskets. Go to, actually I think it's just World Buskets. If you just type that in, you should get the Buskets. You should get the site. You know, just type it in and then on. Because I would really like to see the, what am I trying to say? I would really like to see, oops, I'd really like to see people playing the mini games again. I would love to see people playing the mini games, or people that actually have neighbors. I mean, that was my first base. I used to have a neighbor right there, and then I got tricked into accepting a couple of guys in my faction, and then they were just like, well, and then they made enemies with somebody, and then all three of them came out and were like attacking, and they killed me and stuff, and I mean, I understand, that's fine. It's the whole point of factions. That's the whole point of factions and stuff, but it's a bit irritating. It's like the whole point of factions is supposed to be fighting and all that, but and I don't know if it's just people have been rated often enough that they just don't try anymore, or I'm not really sure of a lot of the reasons why people have given up or whatever. I mean, that's fine, I understand. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And I've heard people say that the site needs to be updated and all that. And I'm sure that's probably true. I'm sure the site probably does need to be updated. But will it be? I don't know. And it's like, I've offered to help on the forums and stuff, but it's like, I know hardly anything about, like computer codes or anything like that, so. And so you get people who ask, like, is Toby on? And it's like, it's like, is Toby on? And it's like, poor, people are just like, and Toby hasn't been on in like a really long time, and that's a lot of the reasons why people join the servers, because they want to meet Toby, they want to see him and play with him and stuff like that, and yeah, weird. 25. I mean, this has been the most active factions has been in like a really long time. Which is good. But it's just, I don't know. I'm to the point where I got bored and I'm about ready to go from like a, being a friendly faction to being like to actually wanting to like fight and stuff. Cause I'd be, you know, I'd get bored. It's like you come to spawn, there's people here, and you're just kind of like, oh, cool. And it's kind of nice because you kind of get to see who the people are that you're, that you see in chat or whatever. And sometimes I just get bored and I'm just like, oh, go out here. Because this is supposed to be like a big PvP, so I've been caught on this bridge like a couple of times. Like people have attacked me and stuff like that. It's one time I was trying to get somewhere and it was like, and I jumped into the water and this guy was shooting at me. And it was kind of funny because it was like, I ended up dying and everything, and it's all part of factions and stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't know. I just wonder if stuff gets raided too many times. And then you're just like, you just wonder if like stuff gets raided one too many times and you're just like, oh, okay. Now this is interesting. Look at this. There's another portal out here. And if you look, it looks like the base is under the sea, which I think is kind of interesting. You don't see that too terribly often. And it looks like they might have been raided. I don't know if this works. I'll get checked out. Oh, wow. Sure. Oh, cool. So this is another part of the nether. Here. Oh, somebody built a nice shelter. Whoa. Cool. I mean, there's so many fun little places you can explore and stuff like that. And it's like, but I do have to admit, I think it would be better if we did actually have hostile mobs turned on. I had a scare the other day because I was on here playing and I just sometimes just randomly pick a spot and decide to like dig down. And I was digging and all of a sudden I hear the sound of a spider, and so I'm like, did mobs get turned back on in chat? And people were like, no. And I was like, oh, because apparently spawners still work. Like, you know, when you come across like a fortress or a temple or whatever, and sometimes you'll have like a spawner, you know, a mob spawner. Well, those are apparently still on. And so that was basically it. Was they were still on there. So, and apparently you need to get like a moderator to do your apparently you need to get a moderator to do your spawning. Maybe to like change it for you or whatever. I don't know. But it was pretty fun. Oh, and every so often you'll come across things like this, and it's like somebody made this. And you just kind of go along, like if you come down here, this used to be full of lava, and now as you can see it's got some obsidian. That's the thing that really kind of pissed me off was just the fact that because I showed the two guys when they asked if they could be part of my faction, I showed them this area. I mean, they didn't take any of the obsidian or anything, but it's just like, you gotta be careful who you trust. Well, I mean, it's pretty cool because looks like chat's going along fairly well, and we don't even, as far as I know, we don't even have any moderators on. was. But yeah, so, I mean, I really want this place to succeed, because it's a really cool place. I like the variety of games that we have. I like having everybody around, you know. It's like, you know, you get the immature people, yeah. But I mean, it's like I found an ally, you know, before I was stupid and a noob and let myself get raided. And then they raided his house too, and I was like, oh, that's, you know. Well, and it was hard because, you know, I was so busy there for a while with, you know, my first trip going over to the UK and then being sent back, and I kind of needed to get over that for a while. But, and then of course, moving. It just, you know, the whole thing just made it really difficult to be around and stuff, and so I don't know. Glad they didn't take the obsidian. You know, I don't really know what to do with it. And of course, I've lost my diamond pickaxe, which means I need to make another one. But anyway, so I just encourage you guys, if you're bored, if you want something to do that's kind of fun, give Robuscus a try, you know. I mean, you have to sign on to the forums in order to join, but it doesn't take that long, and, you know, the rules I think are pretty fair. I mean, they're pretty basic. There's nothing that you would be like, why is that rule there? You know, nothing that's like, why is that rule there? I don't understand. One nice thing I really like is that like you're running around doing all this cobblestone. Well, if you take your cobblestone to the shop, you can sell it. I'm trying to save up enough money to get a couple of village rags, because there's a village that's not that far away from I mean, the cool thing is somebody had raided the village and trashed it, but I kind of worked on building it back up. And the other funny thing is I found a random villager just wandering around in some caves. Not really near the village, so I don't really know what happened there. But it was pretty fun. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go spawn. Yes. You see all these people, these are all people. Spawn tends to be a place people hang out, and I think a lot of it is because of the shop, but another lot of it is because it's a good place to kind of hang around and kind of be like, hey, you know, meet other people, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of different stuff that's for sale, so. But yeah, if you guys are bored, you know, it just, the site needs advertised, and Toby's not really, I mean, like I said, I'm sure he's busy, but Toby's not really advertising, so I'd kind of come to the conclusion that if anybody's going to advertise it, it's going to be those of us who are playing, so. This is actually kind of nice though, because there's quite a few people in here. I like that. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. Just kind of a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a, I got no idea what's going on. All I know. Yeah, it's like, I don't really know what's going on. For sure. And you know, you get multiple people onto a server, and yeah, not everybody's gonna agree 100%. Okay, I was already here. But yeah, I mean, look at that. There's a freaking dragon over spawn. That is really cool. Yeah, and it's a glass, and you have 4 ways you can go from spawn, and it's just a lot of fun. It's like when you're in this area, or when you're in this area over here, you can't really destroy anything. You know, you can't break any blocks, or then you get this area that you can explore. And it's just a lot of fun, in my opinion. And then before they turned mobs off, I was walking along the bridge, and all of a sudden over here I see like a creeper, a zombie, and something else, and it was just kind of like, okay. That can kind of be the hardest part, is trying to decide where to head off from. You can kind of like walk around this area. Oh, this is somebody's base over here. And if it's still up, I want to show you guys something really, really cool. You see that off in the distance? That is a giant nether portal. And the fun thing is, it looks like the base was raided. Oh wow. Lava. So what this how people make like their bases. Like in the nether. just so much to do. You can go Nether, you can go Dude's go to the end. And that's probably only because there's one Ender Dragon and one end, and once the Ender Dragon gets beat, and then that's it, so. Then you can go Nether, you can explore. Man, I'm basically playing just survival. So, anyway guys, I just wanted to show you. I think it's a lot of fun. And it looks like there's a lot of people on right now, so that's good. So if you're bored, have nothing to do, search World Baskets, find the forums, and go to the, and then log on to the server and come play with us. It'll be fun! Alright guys, that's enough from me now, and I will talk to you later.